Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build model kits and to chat with you and hang out. I want to give a shout out to Harold who is hosting the stream. Thank you, Harold, for that host. Always appreciate it. Throw in the Bear Cave, the Lego, and the Scythe emote in the chat. We're going to give it a couple minutes, see if some folks want to join us. Saturday is often kind of a light evening for us, and that's okay. Um, but yeah, thanks for coming by. Always a pleasure to have folks here in the chat. And as I said, I hope a few more folks join us before we get to building. I know that we've done some pretty exciting kits in the past little while. The A86, our first glue kit, building a car, our first real world model. And then we did the papercraft from Totoro. Hello, Ultron. Happy to have you here. Um, so doing the Totoro kit, that was new. We have never done papercraft before. So I understand going from that into Dragon Ball figures isn't the most exciting thing, because we've certainly done those in the past. But I kind of want to I have three of them and I want to build them, so that's what we're doing. We're almost done with our friend 17 here, whose colors don't work great on the green screenable webcam. Um, but yeah, we're getting close to finishing up him, and then we will move on to Piccolo, who will not look good. Piccolo will look very bad on this camera. um, but it should be a fun build. I'm looking forward to it. The colors look real good for Piccolo, and also big old cape, just a big old cape for Piccolo. Dude wants his rug. Hello, welcome. Um, yeah, Piccolo has a whole lot of cape. I'm very excited about that. Building the cape and the turban, that'll be very fun. And the purple, lots of purple for Piccolo. That's a good ass cape. It is Ultron. So we'll do that, and then after, I don't necessarily think we're gonna finish Piccolo today, but we might. Hi, Lashbrook, happy to have you here. Always a pleasure. Whenever we finish Piccolo, then we will move into Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku, which this box is not going to work great here. But there's Goku. He's Super Saiyan 3. Got a lot of colors that my green screen webcam does not enjoy, which is fine, including the blast shield. The blast shield is not going to look good here for 18 because 18 can make a barrier out of energy, and so instead I just disappear. So, yes, I'm gone. Bye bye. Oh no, my mouth is still there though. That's okay. Well, that's weird. Are you feeling better? Ultron, I am feeling better. Thank you very much. I appreciate you asking. As we kind of wait for more folks to join us, I'll say yeah. If you missed the stream on Thursday, I was not feeling well. In fact, we only went like an hour and 40 minutes in the stream because I just was very under the weather and kind of ducked out early. I rarely get sick, but I just couldn't keep anything down. So I took care yesterday. I went to work, but I still was taking it easy today. Went for a really long walk, caught some Pokemon Go, and kind of took it easy over the past couple days. And I'm feeling, I would say, 98%. We'll get into it maybe in the stream a little bit when we're kind of building as we go. But it was an odd day today. There's some stuff. It was mostly good. Yeah, we'll wait a couple minutes and then we'll get into building. I got some new followers today, so maybe a few of them want to check out the stream. I don't know. Uh, uh, was it Overboards of Canada followed us like the minute I stopped streaming on Thursday. We got a new follower there. But I also got some new Twitter followers, and maybe a few people will want to check us out here. I don't know. Maybe they won't. It is, after all, a Saturday evening. There's professional wrestling is happening. Of course, that almost is always the case. And people are, traveling for E3 and getting ready for E3 and all of that. Programming note before we get started in the build. I will be streaming 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. That's the normal time. I know that the Square Enix is doing their presser at that time, and Other than the Avengers game, I kind of don't give a shit. No disrespect to Square Enix, the talented people that work there. I just their games don't necessarily appeal to me. So the Avengers maybe it's going to be cool, but I don't know. So I'm going to stream normally on Monday. Next Thursday I will be streaming earlier. I'll be streaming 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that is 3 hours earlier than normal. Um, that's mostly to make way for Giant Bomb's live stream that night. And I know people will might even be watching Giant Bomb watch Square Enix's thing on Monday, but Monday is kind of light for us anyway, so I'm okay with that. And maybe people won't care, and they've watched so many pressers by that point. Who knows those? Anyway, that is next week, right? Am I wrong? Wait, I just realized I might be wrong. I'm wrong. E3 is not next week; it's the following week. What? Okay. So I gotta fix my cat. Yeah, I thought E3 started this weekend. It starts next weekend. So that's me just goofing up. So my streams will be normal next week because next week is a normal week. I don't know why I thought E3 was next week. It's the week after. Okay. All right. Ultimate Alliance 3. Yes. Yeah. So not this coming week, but the following week, says Harold. Yes. E3 is not starting. Well, that's right, because EA would have done their thing today had it been E3. So it's next Saturday is like the preview. Let's get to building. I have to redo. I made a calendar, and I'm totally wrong. I will say that, so the next Monday and Thursday, normal stream time. But next, get this. But next Wednesday, I am doing a bonus stream next Wednesday. So if you want to watch me sing some songs that Twitch sings, that'll be Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, so we put the belt on our waist here. One of the cool things is there's an open spot for this, so that's how it hangs like this. And once we put the belts on, it will lock into place. The belt will lock in, and then this belt won't move around. So we have two of these, and we have to put a bunch of stickers on them because this is like the equivalent of a high grade. So you're not getting, you're just getting one blue piece, and then you got to do the work with stickers. So there are two belts on this kit, and we're going to do both of them. And one of them is just for it standing around, and the other belt is meant for attaching to a stand, which we don't have, but we'll still do the work of doing both. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought E3 was next week, and it's not. So, there you go. That was me just being foolish. All right, so we're going to start with the belt buckle, which is just gold. And as always, we'll do our best, but I'm not going to, really stress about this. Especially because one of these we'll never see because we won't be displaying it. I know GB has stuff packed up already, I think. So that made me think it was sooner. Yeah, Ultron, that's because they GameSpot and by extension Giant Bomb West, their stuff gets delivered via truck. So it takes longer than if they were just flying stuff down or driving equipment down themselves. If they were renting a van and they were in charge of loading and unloading, they would do it closer to the show. But because they're doing through a trucking company, they're unfortunately have to use equipment that they already would be using for other things. All right, so then we're going to do 11, 11, 12, 14. Belt is all around the front. Okay. Pardon me. Alright, so this is just sticker work. This is nice and easy. Just going to take my time with it. And like I said, if I screw up, I screw up, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, I for some reason, I just thought that I had to... Yeah, so next week's schedule will be normal Monday, normal Thursday. I'm glad I didn't send out a tweet to my Patreon, or send a message to my Patreon. I'm waiting until Monday to do that. uh, because it's a new month. It's June. Happy June, everybody. Happy Pride Month. Happy Pat Bear's birthday month. My birthday is coming up the end of the month. We got some time. Um, I will be streaming on the 22nd to celebrate my birthday, which is on the 23rd. I have no necessarily plans of doing anything particularly special, but I will be streaming on the June 22nd, Saturday, June 22nd. It's a way to celebrate my birth. And if you're thinking, oh, Pat, I would love a way to celebrate your birthday, what could I do? Well, you could always, buy a model kit off my wish list, tell a friend about the streams, join my Patreon. Speaking of Patreon, I did revamp it slightly. I took out the $6 tier. I had a tier that I thought would be good. I had this tier that I thought would be interesting. $6. I don't send you any emails. You never get an email from me. Like the ghost tier. I've seen a few people do that. I thought that was kind of an interesting idea. The response was that no one signed up for it. Some people just set their notifications so they don't get the messages, or they only get one day, or whatever. It's June, y'all. There's no more time for Mayflowers. Yeah, get rid of those. Yeah, Mayflowers are done. Get rid of them. So anyway, I had that ghost thing, and then no one wanted it. So what I've done is I've included one of the things. This is maybe just food for thought. One of the things they say is having a very cheap Patreon tier is important because every little bit helps and adds up. And some people have no problem giving you $1 a month forever. They got no problem with it. They don't sweat that. They're totally okay with that. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I hear that. Now, some people say you shouldn't have a $1 tier because it's too little amount of money. Actually, after processing and Patreon's cut, that it doesn't actually add up. And you should have a $3 tier as your minimum, is what people say. And now I've been doing Patreon for long enough that I'm not going to get rid of the $1 and be like, hey, the $1 is going away. But what I have done is I've offered a $3 tier for people, and I'm going to message my Patreon if people want to join that. And basically, it's the same thing as the $1 tier, except you also, once a month will get to vote on a game I play in one of my bonus streams. So I'll put up a poll and be like, hey, should I play this, or this? And then say hey, and also if you want to see me do a game, put in the comments. And that'll be an extra thing a month that people get for giving a little bit more. Meaty Hooks says, hey, Pat, you're awesome. Thank you very much, Meaty Hooks. Appreciate that. Thanks for joining us on the stream. Always nice to hear. Yeah, I'm, I don't mind if people want to join me on Patreon. I don't mind if people want to join me on Twitch, if they just, give now and again, or if they can't. I also understand that, folks. I totally get that. If money's tight and you can only support so many people out there, I totally understand, and I appreciate, I also just appreciate when people are hanging out and in the chat. It's really nice to have folks hanging out and watching what I do. I don't know if I would be building model kits 6 hours a week if I wasn't streaming, but I know that I would be doing some of this even if people weren't watching at all. But it's way better when people are watching and folks are sharing stuff. Applied for a bunch of jobs today, one of which would be interesting. It wouldn't be a full-time position, but it would be some contract work that I'd be very good at. So I have applied for that. And I applied for some part-time work and some full-time work and more contract work. The contract work I did on Wednesday I thought went pretty well, and I'm up for doing more of that. I don't know if that's going to become anything necessarily, but I did apply for it. So I applied for more work. So we'll see if that becomes anything. I don't know. All right, so we're just putting more stickers on here. Nice and easy work. Um, but yeah, as I said, it is June. That is my birthday month, and I have just been kind of hunkered down on streaming and trying to think about revamping the Patreon a bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. I uh, I have been thinking here and there about what I could do um, with uh, with Twitch here with my streaming, and not like I'm not gonna stop streaming or anything. So don't think that that's what I've been thinking about. Nothing like that. Uh, it's mostly just like I'm thinking about like if I want to change up the times I stream at all. I might be thinking of that. Um, the original idea was when I worked evenings a lot. Was the idea was that Monday was going to be afternoon streaming, and I have been thinking about that. Um, I'm not ready to make a decision on it yet by any means, but I've thought about it, or possibly replacing the Saturday night stream, tonight's stream, with a weekday afternoon stream. Um, and that's mostly because I kind of miss having my Saturday nights free. There are opportunities to see shows or perform in shows that I certainly miss now and again. Um, Covering for the tech job that I do twice a week, uh, or swapping shifts so that I could be available on Friday night to go do things or see things. There's some thoughts of it. Also, hey, I'm psyched you're all here, but on if I can probably in an afternoon have as many people watch as are watching right now in the evening. Um, Totally possible that on a Saturday afternoon I might get just as many viewers. So yeah, so also the idea of doing a Saturday afternoon stream instead of an evening stream, I've thought about, but um, I'm not ready to make any decision yet, and I also will certainly reach out to Patreon and I will email um, subscribers about that as well, Twitch subs, talk about it on Twitter, that kind of thing. Um, I'm not ready to make any rash decisions, but I am kind of been thinking about that. Because, hey, if, 20, 30 people were watching on a Saturday, then it'd be a no-brainer. But they aren't, so I have to kind of think about that. Especially since a lot of the jobs I'm applying for are evening jobs, I'm going to have to start thinking about my evenings. There's also been the thought of, do I need to stream even later? Uh, do I have more people who would watch on the West Coast because they tune in the second hour? Or do people tune in the second hour no matter what? And it doesn't matter when you start. It's just as the longer you stream in length, the more people that will pop in. And people are more likely to join a stream when it's convenient for them rather than when it started. I don't know. I don't have a lot of answers for this stuff. Um, uh, to me, it's not about like, oh, I want to make partners, so I need 75. I need an average 75 viewers, right? Per stream. I'm not doing that for that. I'm not trying to hit that number. That number exists, but it's not something I'm actively pursuing. For me, it's mostly like I want more people who would like this to be able to watch it. Harold says, I'm going through similar thoughts about streams scheduling now that I'm off for the summer. Yeah. And, I think about like, well, maybe more people would watch me in the in the afternoon, or maybe more people would watch me in the evening. I don't really know. When I was once a week on Thursdays in the afternoon, people still tuned in. Uh, and I don't know. All right. So we're gonna go with this belt. We have all but done our 17. I will say. So 17. You can see I'm keeping for now the plastic eyes. I actually have to adjust this because it autofocus is still on, which is my fault. Pardon me. Video focus off. Just go like that. Great. Okay. Just that. Right now, for our 17, we are using the plastic blue eyes that it comes with. We could do stickers if we wanted to, but we're going to not do that. Instead, we're going to move on to, we'll put the belt that we're not using here and there, and then we're going to move on to building the energy weapons and the stand for our energy weapons. So when I say energy weapons, I mean the pieces that come with it. You know what I mean by that. This is not a weapon. It's the energy wave that ostensibly 17 is shooting out, which are a hallmark of these kits. But yeah, I've been thinking about streaming and all that. I still love my Thursday night stream. I think I would keep that no matter what, unless I suddenly had to work another job on Thursday nights. I've always enjoyed the Thursday night stream. I think it's a good time. It's Thursday. It was the first day I ever streamed, and the times have changed and altered over the course of me doing this. But Thursday's been a consistent day. So I've been thinking about it. I don't know. Saturdays always felt like it made sense because I had a job Sunday through Wednesday. So Thursday, Saturday made sense because it wasn't back to back. And it's been a while now since that's been the case. Now I have a Friday, Sunday job. And so basically what happens is I stream on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday I don't do anything. I occasionally do something on Wednesday. Then I stream on Thursday. Then I work on Friday. Then I stream on Saturday. Then I work on Sunday. And I could stream and work the same day without it being a problem. But it is like, that schedule doesn't necessarily make sense. It made sense. I don't know if it still makes sense. So I've been thinking about it. I don't know. I haven't come to any conclusion. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. That's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, honestly, I just want to make sure the people who watch my streams consistently and come a lot are able to watch them. That's the general thing, It is a bummer to me, Harold, that during the school year, you often have to leave an hour into the stream because of me streaming 9 to 11 p.m. I don't love that because you're an active member of this community, and it's nice when you're able to watch it. So I don't love that. But I also know that the earlier I do on the East Coast, the way, way earlier it is on the West Coast. And then it hits a certain point where it's not people who are watching because they work at night or watching while they're at work during the day. It's my stream starts when people are like commuting. And I'm like, well, that's not good. All right, so we got our energy blast here. Goes like that. Shoot his beam. That's that thing. And then we've got the barrier, the energy barrier, which we're going to assemble now. I don't know. Things I've been thinking about a lot when it comes to streaming and all of that. Trying to keep up with it. I still really enjoy doing this, so it's not going to stop. I'm not interested in stopping. All right, so we got that blast, and then we have, you can see in the overhead here, it's energy beam that he can make. It's pretty neat. 10 p.m. weeknight streams were impossible. Yeah. I mean it's tough. But 10 p.m. Eastern is 7 p.m. Pacific, so that's a good time. And when people stream for, people who do gaming streams are doing 5 hours at a time, it makes total sense that they are able to hit both coasts, And someone who's well known in the streaming community that can stream in the afternoon. Well, they're hitting a point where, yeah, there'd probably be more people at night, but they're hitting enough people during the day that it's all right. Somebody like Brian Kibler streams in the afternoon quite a bit. He'll stream like all afternoon into the evening, but he's so big, and also Twitch streaming is just one of a few things he does. But like for him, it's like, yeah, I'm going to stream 6 hours. I'm a well-known person. People will work around their schedule to be able to watch him. Uh, all right, so that's 18 or 17. 17 is done. So we'll put 17 away. 17 will come back out for photos. And we're going to start Piccolo. I follow someone who streams at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. her time, and all I ever catch is the first 2 hours or so of her stream, but it's something to fall asleep to. First of all, hi the T. And then I wake up at 9 a.m. and she's still streaming. Yeah, that's also another thing. Like, because this is not something where I am trying to do this as my full-time job, I am not trying to be, I don't stream every waking hour of every moment. I have the time now to do that. I don't do that. If I did that, then, I would definitely be trying to hit the balance for each coast. Okay, so we got some stickers here for Piccolo. Yeah, like I want to get back into streaming, but keeping consistent schedule is something I don't know how I can do. Yeah, the T, and that's, to me, that's the most important thing, right? Even if I'm losing possible eyes because I'm not streaming the exact right time for my audience, which I'm trying to figure out, I want people to know that here are the nights where you can come hang out and I'm going to stream. I have to stream 7 to 9 weeknights during the school year. This is Harold, because any later is too late. Last streams tend to do better, so I do Friday nights at 9. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? So instead of doing an afternoon stream once a week, I might do the thing we did very briefly right at the end of my career, unfortunately, end of my career. I was doing that late night Monday stream, that like 1 a.m. Monday stream. I've been thinking about doing another one of those instead of Saturday, doing a weekday real late, but I don't know. So one thing that's kind of cool about this Piccolo is, so this Piccolo kit there's two interesting things about this. This is a 2018 kit. One is that I got a booklet with a bunch of ads for stuff, and it's kind of fun to get something like that. I felt that this is kind of neat. I was excited to get, basically, advertised to, but whatever. That's kind of fun. So there's one other thing. So this is Piccolo. There's a tie-in with this box, which is interesting. So this box wants you to also buy Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, which we've built. We built and I sent out. I don't think I'll double check, but I'm actually, let me check the winners here. I'm pretty sure that I have sent that out because we built that a while ago. Let me look. I might not have. Let's see. Gohan. Let's see. Goku and Krillin. Okay, so I might not have sent Gohan. I have to look. If I have Gohan, that would be great. If I don't have Gohan anymore, it's fine. That's totally fine. But this has a head for Gohan. It has a unique head for the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, which now I have to go and see if I still have, or if I sent that out, because I might have sent that out as a thank you, because I mail out kits, as you know. But yeah, it has basically has an extra head for the. It's not the Gohan. Super Saiyan 2 Son Gohan is sold separately, but it's got like a different head for it, which is weird, right? That's kind of different. But I like that. I like that it's like, hey, here's a bonus. Because, sometimes you buy those kits and they come with like a piece and you want to buy them all. Important man to you, apologize for butchering that, is now following. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much. Also, earlier, before the stream started, Troy D subscribed with Twitch Prime, but not during the stream. And a reminder, if you are a subscriber that uses Twitch Prime, you do need to manually put that in. You can't use, it doesn't automatically renew as it would with everything else. But yeah, I mean, the streaming stuff, this is obviously not the most interesting information out there. the most incredible topic, but it is stuff I want you to know that I think about this a lot. I hope you know that I do. Um, okay, so let's see. Where should we start? Let's start with the let's start with the head, and then we'll move on to the body. We'll start with the head there. We're doing Piccolo. So what's the Gohan head like? So it just looks like it's a different angry head of Gohan. I'll see if I can. I don't know. It looks like the. I don't think there's anything different about it. I think it's just different hair for Gohan. Um, yeah, because you're using the face. It's just different. I think this is just different colored hair. It's more of a. It's less see-through than some of the gold hair for Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. So it's just a replacement hair. But I will dig out that Gohan. Fun idea. Swap Gohan and Goten's figureheads and see if anyone notices. Yeah. Also, hi Lastbrook. Um, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, so we're working on our Piccolo here. But yeah, I wanted to say that I do think about this stuff, the streaming and all of that. I am constantly thinking about ways to make the streams better and have more folks. I think that's Super Saiyan 1, not 2. So that could be the case. It's like a replacement hair to make Super Saiyan 2 Gohan look more like Super Saiyan 1 Gohan, which would be more accurate to Piccolo training him. Yeah, so I think that's what it is. Uh, yeah, I think that's what they're going for. So we have two faces for our Piccolo, very similar to what we did for 18. We've got closed mouth and open mouth. Um, and we do have a purple mouth sticker here, which we'll put on now. Your friend Tim is hosting HQ Words again. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Tim Dunn is a fantastic, very funny person. Also, just like a real good person. Tim is just a lovely human being, and I'm happy that more people are finding out about him. Um, he runs a show called Queer Ball. I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. Queer Ball is a fantastic queer focused. They are allies, but mostly, almost exclusively, queer performers. Um, Comedy show here in New York, and he is a gracious host of it. Um, and yeah, and he's been doing some trivia hosting, which is rad. I'm happy for him. All right, so this is B3, so that's this one. Lots of purple here. Obviously, we're doing Piccolo, so we're going to get some purple and some green, which makes sense because those are the primary colors for Piccolo. Some of this will also feel a little bit like when we built Cell. It'll feel a little bit like that. But yeah, we need A1, 34, and 35. Our Piccolo faces. He just mentioned it. Oh, that's right. There aren't enough lovely human beings out there. You know what? I definitely agree with you, and I think that now more than ever, 2019 certainly. Let's have some real nice folks out there if we can. Uh, Only makes things better when you can have some real nice people, people trying hard to do right by other people. Very good. All right, so let's build some heads here. But yeah, Tim is great. Um, It is a weird thing because HQ is New York based, so a lot of the people that have hosted guest hosted are all people that I know. So my friend Casey did it for a while. This was a couple years or two ago. Casey Jost. Uh, Casey was an interesting choice because Casey, like anything that went wrong, he is not going to care about it because he is just too cool for school, and like very like nothing bothers Casey. He is He's the most chill man from Staten Island that ever existed. Is a thing that I am not the first person to say that uh, about Casey. Fun fact: Casey Jost, former guest host of HQ Trivia, uh, his older brother is Colin Jost of SNL, uh, who I have not met because they don't hang out that often in the New York comedy scene, at least. All right, and we'll put the head there. These are both looking very much like Piccolo. I think I'm gonna go with stern Piccolo and not yelling angry Piccolo. I mean, this is some people's prime Piccolo, but not necessarily mine. So I think I'm gonna skip that head, that face, but we'll finish it and do the whole thing. Got to put some antenna on there. So we need 14, 15 on here. All right. Tiny pieces. Okay, 15. These are pretty small. Yeah, very easy to put in, but they are very small. Oh, I should check this out. I always like to look, as you know, when things are green. Well, yep. The absence. It's just a table. Very weird. Piccolo doesn't work great on a green screen. We'll look at that when it's done too. I think that'll be good. But yeah, I'm gonna have to dig out Gohan and switch out the hair and see how he looks because I think I still have that Gohan. Pretty sure I didn't send it out. I like Stoic Piccolo. Calm and collected. Yes, Ultron, indeed. I mean, because we've got the finger beam thing, which looks really cool. This looks very very cool. So we can have him do the finger point, uh, but we can still have him be, which he normally would be powering up. But I think the open mouth just looks. It doesn't look like I'm collecting my energy for a big old blast. To me, it looks like I'm gonna fight Goku in a tournament because I'm still evil. That looks like something one would use to juice a fruit. Yeah, yes. There is certainly a drill like quality to this. I always liked his beam because it's one of the most unique. Most of the energy blasts in Dragon Ball are very similar. There are a couple that are a little different, but for the most part, they are very, very similar. So I always liked that about Piccolo's, is that his was unique looking. I always thought that was pretty cool. 26. 26 is this one here. Great. I can feel a sneeze coming on. It hasn't hit yet, but I will hopefully be able to, if not mute my mic, at least move the mic away from me when the time comes. So I think it'll be okay. I'm gonna have a little water though. I can feel I had a long walk today, and I can feel needing some refreshment. Nope, got water on there. Don't like that. All right. Right there. Put this here. So I did do a little. You may have noticed I thought that once the weather got warmer, my first thought was I would start doing something where like the instructions would be out here, and then I would be building down here, and kind of adjust the overhead. But instead, what I'm doing now is just doing one page because one page instructions means that my hands don't touch the paper, because it does get a little sweaty because I have a fan going, mostly just to kind of keep the air moving and circulating, but I don't go overboard with it because I want to have a good, listening experience for everybody. Uh, so I don't go overboard with that, but it does mean that sometimes I am sweating a lot in here. All right, so we're gonna go with this head. This is gonna be our head, so we can put the other one in Piccolo's box, and then this is gonna be can't wow the absence of it. It's literally messing with my green screen. If I go too far away. Oh no, what happened to my nose? Haha. Little fun with green screen. Y'all get it? So that's just the head. I mean, we're going to put a turban on him later. But right now, put the head there so you can see the head there. Looks like a weird translucent candy. Indeed. Yes, it does look like I have a tiny little see-through candy. All right, let's build this body. Make sure that the parts are facing the right way and in the right positions. Pro tip. Thank you very much. Instructions. I think I will be okay. Yeah, you can see the two fingers there for the finger blast, which I will never say again. That came out wrong. There is no Piccolo, indeed. Piccolo? I wasn't making a Piccolo. Ha ha ha. Howdy, Pat and Chat, says Bald Ridge. How's the day treating you? Things are going good, Bald Ridge. Happy to have you here. Thanks for joining. We just finished up Android 17, which we started on Thursday, and kind of just finished up at the top of the stream today. And we're moving on to Piccolo. Yeah, I went for a good. I also did just say Finger Blast, because technically that is. He does this, and then a big energy beam goes. So technically, it is a finger blast, but I'm also not going to say that after this stream. It's technically true. Yeah, no, I had a pretty good day today. I did apply to a few gigs. One is a contract gig that is a community manager for someone that folks know on the internet. And there's a good chance that if you follow what I do, you might also follow what he does. I don't necessarily know for sure. I can't be like, I'm definitely getting that gig. I mean, I would do a good job with it, but, nothing's set in stone. So I don't, can't say for sure. But it'll be interesting. Interesting contract work. I believe it was a 2-finger blast. It's either way more or way less sexual. Indeed. The 2-finger blast, yeah. I'm going to see what it says here in the instructions because we'll put together the beam for it. So I'm going to see what they say. What do they call it? Special beam cannon is what they call it. The special beam cannon. That's nondescript. That's totally nondescript. Good job. Good job. Special beam cannon. Okay. 3 fingers going too far. Indeed, Ultron. Him yelling that at some point. Yes. That's a, yeah. That might be in the dub somewhere. In a dub. Just there. But yeah, I'm applying to a few gigs here and there, trying to make something work with that. Got a couple comedy shows tomorrow to tech, so I was prepping for those. I still need one person to email me the stuff from the show, which I asked them to do, and they have not yet, which is, well, I mean, it's not fine, but I'll deal with it. It's not fine, and I want them to send me things because the whole idea is, it's a very intricate system. You have a show with lights and sound cues. I don't know what those are, or video, or PowerPoints, or whatever. You figure those out. You send them all to me. I read through your script, and then I ask questions. And maybe I ask a question that you've never even thought of, because it hasn't occurred to you, because you're still a work in progress, your show. And so you're able to, because I asked a question, make a decision on something. Or you've known all along what the decision is. You need to clarify it though, because I don't understand. And then I won't fuck up your show. But in order to do that, you have to send me things, and then I can look at those things and figure it out. Because I can also just read a script blind, just read it, and go off my gut and do my best, and I will nail it because I'm a professional and very good at what I do. But it's always better when I can have some kind of idea about what your show is. So I always like to have stuff in advance. As I said, I have a show tomorrow that I'm teching where they sent me stuff today. I went through it. I put things together. I made a PowerPoint because that's easier for me than sometimes than using QLab because I don't have a Mac at home, so I can't build a QLab on my own. I have to build it at work, and that's annoying. So instead, I'll just make a PowerPoint presentation because it's way easier to do that. And then it's like, okay, then I'm ready to go. But if you don't send me stuff, then I can't prep it. Like, let me read the script before your show so I know what the cues are. It's not a lot. Went to Qdoba, says Baldridge. Had that Impossible Burger stuff. It does taste like meat. I probably won't get it again, though. Yeah, I mean, Baldridge, a lot of that's got to be the cost has to come down. Now, if I was going to get, I might get Impossible Burger, like the Impossible Meat stuff, like a ground beef in the 3 cheese nachos. That might be a little more expensive than I would like to spend for nachos, but it might be totally worth doing because then it's like a little healthier. But also, I'm still eating 3 cheese nachos, so it's not super healthy. But I think it's a good, it's a good like, what do you call it? I don't know. I want that stuff to be more prevalent and more of a choice that people have. I love the idea that folks have that option, are starting to get things that they can get in restaurants, and that is becoming more and more prevalent. I think that's very important, and I think that rules. So I'm all in favor of that. But also, like, yeah, like I mean, in a vegetarian, but I'm a vegetarian, but I'd rather just have more bell peppers. I understand that. Yes, your mouth, Pat. 3 cheese nachos is the healthiest. I mean, it's just not. It's good, but it's not healthy. All right, so we got most of that done. Shoulders here, and then we can connect this to the top. Hell yeah, getting a lot done on this Piccolo. But yeah, I mean, I understand that. You'd rather just. There are folks that can't eat meat because they can't health-wise, right? They have to cut it out. They have to cut back on certain things, or they don't eat meat in the house anymore because they have a partner or a roommate or some situation where they're not eating meat because someone else doesn't eat meat, and they're not going to cook meat just because the other person doesn't eat it. Stuff like that. Um, like my friend, my wonderful dear friend Sebastian, is vegetarian, but still cooks. But for many Thanksgivings, would cook a turkey for us so that we could have turkey on Thanksgiving because they like toasting Thanksgiving dinner. But he wasn't gonna eat a turkey. But he would make it, which is incredible and wonderful of him. Eventually, now one of the people that comes to Thanksgiving brings a big bird with them and just cooks it in the oven and takes care of that. Which I think is wonderful. Yes, Sebastian, despite being a vegetarian, first and foremost is a host, indeed. And I always thought that was wonderful. But like, yeah, like I know there are people there have situations where, like, being able to have an option is so nice. And especially in cooking, like, there's a lot of, like, I started using turkey sausage in certain recipes because it was easier to prepare and didn't really take anything away from pork sausage. Or I would do. Of course, I don't cook as much as I used to, but I certainly cooked quite a bit at one point in my life. Um, or fake in some instances. I don't think putting it on having fake bacon with eggs isn't great, but having fake bacon wrapped around a meatloaf is fine because it's just gonna bake and all that, right? I cook steaks for the missus because she really likes the way I cook them. Harder to taste test them now. Indeed, Baldrige, certainly. Um, but yeah, I mean, and that's the thing you do because, as you put it, the missus uh, is uh, is happy that you do it and wants you to do it, and you want to make your partner happy. So of course you're gonna do that. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, I would say if it's a main dish, it's hard. It's hard to replace. Um, but if it's a accompaniment or it's mixed in, like nachos, uh, I have had uh, I've had General Tso tofu, right? It General Tso is the thing that's the party, right? As long as you get that crispiness and that gooiness and that sourness, and maybe even a little kick around the thing. It doesn't have to be chicken. General Tso tofu is great. I'm not particularly partial to tofu at all, but I know that it's good because you're getting the General Tso stuff. Like, that's the important part of the meal, like, of the dish, I should say. Tofu is so good in so many Asian dishes, whether Chinese or Indian. Indeed, and I totally, I am in total agreement with that. I think that there's just so many dishes where it just rises to the occasion. All right, so this goes like this, and then I gotta put C221 on. Gotta put our back on here. But yeah, I think that, like, or if I got like I could eat boneless barbecued spare ribs with not ribs. Like, the if it's the boneless part, then it's just like, because I've also eaten that. I've eaten seitan for that, um, and it's been incredible because that the main thing is the sugary, like, sauce. Like, that's the main part of the dish. It's not the boneless spare ribs part. The boneless spare ribs are great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they aren't incredible. I'm just saying that, like, it's the sauce that's the main uh, component. I haven't eaten a lot of fake meat burgers. I do want to try an Impossible Burger. I'd like to definitely do that. That is a thing that I would like to do soon. Um, Also, not related, but just a thing I want to eat soon. Yes, hell, Satan. Satan. One thing I just want to do soon is I gotta go back to. There's only one Arby's in Manhattan, and I gotta go back to that Arby's. I just haven't been near it in a while. I haven't had a good reason to go, but I am, as they say, thinking Arby's. It has been a bit, and so it might be time for some Arby's. All right, so we got to put. There we go. There's Piccolo in green and purple. Great combination. Great color choices for Piccolo. Big old thick neck Piccolo. Some arms done. Getting a lot of work done there. Alright, we're going to start on the arms in a minute. I had Arby's for dinner. Well, hell yeah, Harold. I'm glad you got some Arby's. I used to get a veggie burger with bacon before going full. Uh, I totally understand. There are. I mean, I like a garden burger. I think a mushroom burger is too much mushroom because I'm not super fan of that. But uh, yes, important. Import. Uh, import. You should eat. I just had some water. It's a good reminder to have some water if you got some handy, or yeah, liquids. Stretch if you haven't done that in a while. We've only been streaming for an hour, but it's still good to do. Um, Sin, hi Sin, says the Impossible Burger seems very odd. I got one for my vegetarian family members, and they were put off because it was too much like real meat. Yeah, Sin. So that's the thing that I always say. Like some people who are vegetarians or vegans, um, they're doing it for um, if they're doing it for health reasons, then they might miss meat. If they're doing it for religious, spiritual, uh, save the planet style reasons, they might not be into the taste of meat. There are also people who just like never like the taste of meat and don't miss it. They're just like, eh. So like the Impossible Burger is honestly for people that are just like, I have to. I want to. Like folks that give up meat for Lent or something like that. They might be interested in getting that just because they're like, this is something, and we're gonna do it. Hi, folks that are just joining us. We are working on a Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. Working on a model kit. I love these Bandai kits. We finished Android 17 not too long ago. I'm going to quickly do my ad reads here because it's an hour in. And when I say ad reads, I'm not sponsored. If anyone works for any company that sells model kits, be it comic book shop, import store, website, if you're, I would love to build a kit and tell people about how great you are. Reuben sandwiches are great. I'm not a huge Reuben fan, but there's some times where a Reuben is great. Um, uh, but yeah, I mean that's just general. Like I like to put it out there. If anybody ever wanted to sponsor me, I would fucking say it. It wouldn't be a hidden sponsorship where suddenly I'm just promoting a product. I would talk about it. But yeah, bits and cheers are always appreciated. If you got it in you, the leaderboard has been cleared. So any cheer could be number one for June if you want to be showcased for that. But bits and cheers are always appreciated. Consider becoming a subscriber. If you're not a follower, please give me a follow so you know when I go live. But also consider we are 11 people away from having 1,000 followers, which is a lot. We have far fewer subscribers than that, which is understandable and makes sense. But yeah, if you want to become a subscriber, you can use your Twitch coin. You could use actual money. You could also join my Patreon. As I said, I relaunched my Patreon a little bit, did some changes. There's the $3 a month tier. That's $1, $5, $10. Take a look at that. There's some ways to support me there. My Amazon wish list. I'm going to get through this stuff as quick as I can and get back to building. I do have my wish list. I added some stuff to my wish list, so I'm going to go to my wish list and look at some of the stuff that I put up there. And kind of, one is this Iron Man Hall of Armor. Now, this isn't a complicated kit by any means. It's like an excuse to have a lot of different minifigs, but I think it's kind of neat and different. And I like doing location Lego sets now and again instead of just vehicles. A lot more papercraft because people seem to really enjoy the Totoro papercraft, including this. Ultron just cheered 69. Nice. Thank you very much, Ultron. This Studio Ghibli, the Princess Mononoke, looks incredible, but it does have a lot of green. So that might be that'll be a process. But yeah, some model kits. I put up a gun tank, which is very expensive, but hopefully it'll drop in price at some point. The Master Grade Exia is dropped. It's below $40. A bunch of different model kits and stuff that I'd like to build. This was bought off my wish list. All of the Dragon Ball kits that I'm building in a row. I'm doing 3 in a row. These were all bought off my Amazon wish list. So if you'd like to buy something that jumps ahead of the line, jumps ahead of my queue, and I will build it on the stream. I also have a coffee for one-time donations. You can set up recurring if you'd like. That's just a tip jar if you want to tip me. And anything I make from YouTube ads, Twitch, Patreon, coffee, any money I make that comes in here goes to buying kits and equipment. I really want to buy a new webcam. My overhead webcam, I want to buy a better webcam. Because y'all deserve to have a better viewing experience. That's something I'd like to do. I am not financially in a point there. I haven't put on my wish list yet. I'd like to do that soon. I am going to start investigating that and find something. But yeah, we'll get back to building in just a second. I do want to quickly just promote my Discord. Apologies if you're in my Patreon and you got automatically added to my Discord. Apparently, they're just fucking now doing that because I got added to Discords I don't necessarily want to be in. That's just the thing that Patreon fucking did because Patreon is not great. It would be awesome if the new version of Drip that is theoretically coming out, that's the XOXO people, if they would just launch that and then approve my Drip, that would be rad. I would love to switch to Drip instead of Patreon, but a bunch of people have to do that for it to work. And then I have a video that I made. Background and Characters is the weekly video series I do. That's the most recent one. I think it's pretty good. I've got some anime to talk about. I'm going to drink some water. We're going to get back to building. Let me drink a little water here, and then we're going to start working on some arms. But yeah, Ultron's on the leaderboard himself. Starting in a couple days, some cheers will also be matched for charity as far as Pride Month, but I believe that starts on the 3rd. I'm going to look that up. Yes, that is June 4th to 30th. You'll get some Pride emotes for cheering that much. By cheering 200 more bits in a single cheer, you'll get some Pride emotes you can use, and I guess the more that people do it, the more unlocks there will be, and up to $150,000 will be donated to the Trevor Project, which is rad. That starts June 4th, so it's a good way to cheer at that point. But of course, cheers are always beneficial to me and my thing. All right, it is the second half of the stream. After 10 p.m., it's time to talk about anime. First and foremost, the best show that comes out between Thursday and Saturday for streaming is Senryu Girl. Senryu Girl. For folks that don't know, this is a show. It is a half episode length, so it's a 12-minute show. Very cute, very fun, sweet show about a girl that communicates by writing poems, little haikus, senryu. And that's how she communicates. And it's like her being in high school and having friends and falling in love, looks like. So this episode, her friend, her guy friend, who's the main dude in the show, wants to, or basically the Senryu Girl wants her dad, or her dad wants to meet this dude, wants him to come over. Now, Nanako's dad is my least favorite character in the fucking show. I dislike him because he is the typical dad in an anime of a young lady in an anime. He's just it's just there's nothing unique or interesting about it in a show that has some interesting characters. In the same way that like I generally didn't like another character that just gave me something that actually makes me like her, and we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, the dad I've never been super into. But in this episode, he actually wasn't, even though he's in the title of the episode, he wasn't in it that much, and it was mostly like our guy just trying to like go and hang out because he's nervous about meeting Nanako's dad because neither of them are really open about their feelings for one another, even though they clearly have feelings for one another and will and should start dating. They're like being real coy about it because they're young and silly. And it's also an anime, so they can't just express their feelings. They have to get into situations and hijinks. Otherwise, it won't be an anime. But one of the fun things is as he's walking around, he runs into all the other minor characters in the show, and we get to see some of their personality. We run into my favorite minor character, who should do more in the show, the young lady who she communicates by drawing. And she's doing that classic like thumb thing, like kind of like really trying to nail a thing, and then it's revealed that she's She's drawing something called Detective Gorilla, and it just looks rad, and she's just the fucking best. She's great. She's a great little support character. Uh, and I want to know more about Detective Gorilla because that was just a cool look drawing. Um, so he also runs into the oops, we got here 1,000 for upgraded Bear Cave security cameras. Says important. Thank you so much. Let's throw the Bear Cave emote in there. Hello, hell yeah, Detective Jesus Bulger, indeed. Please throw the Bear Cave and Lego emotes in there. And thank import. I should say not important. Import. Thank you very much for that. It's 1,000 bits. That fucking rules. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Um, that's awesome. I really do appreciate it. Uh, but yeah. So there's a character in the show, and her thing is that she is a psychic, but she's kind of giving, like, she sees bad things in people's futures and kind of gives them bad advice. Um, and she's like eating and kind of dressed like normally. Um, she's not dressed like in goth or in psychic teenager mode. She's just dressed whatever. And there's a fun bit where she's like, "Oh, do you think that, like, oh, it's weird that I would like eat this food and come here?" And he's like, "No, I didn't think that." And she goes, "Did you think it was weird that I dress normally?" And he's like, "I did think that. I did think that's weird." And I thought that was pretty cute. I don't know. Uh, like I said, the dad wasn't really in much of the episode actually, even though he was in the title, and that's good because kind of least important part of it to me. But Senryu Girl is still great. It might not be my favorite show of this season, but it's still very good. Um, I have nothing to say about Fruit Baskets. I didn't actually see this week's episode of Fruit Baskets. I need to. I'll be able to talk about that on Monday. I just didn't get a chance to watch it, which I'm annoyed about because I really, really like that show. I just didn't get a chance to watch this week's episode, so I can't talk about that. Um, we never learn. I am just fucking sick of this teacher. Like, teacher having a crush on him is just weird and creepy, and I don't like it. I do not like it. I do not like it. I don't care if she's like a new teacher. Like, these are high school students. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't like this part of it at all. It is actively making me like the show less, and that is a bummer because I kind of like the show. I think We Never Learn, which is a romantic comedy about a tutor and some smart students, and then one student who's not necessarily smart but is athletic and interesting, um, and their tutor who is kind of begrudgingly a tutor, um, and then like relationship stuff. This is a romantic comedy and all that. I think it's way better than the last season's romantic comedy about tutors, the quintessential quintuplets. I think this show is way better than that, uh, even if some of the characters aren't as good. But yeah, overall, We Never Learn is fine. But I'm sick of this teacher character, and I want less of that. And the last anime I'll talk about from that I watched since yesterday or since Thursday, new episodes is Joshi Kausei. Um, Really funny origin story of how two of the characters became friends. It's just fucking cute. It's just cute, and also, so this show, the concept of the show is that no character speaks. It is all through. There's some sound effects and characterization, but there's no dialogue in the show, and that is an element of the show. It's like a 4 panel like gag manga show, so it's 3 minute episodes, and no one talks, and it's just so fucking good. But this one, there is communication through the medium of shadow puppets, which is perfect for a show where no one talks. It was so smart and such a clever little episode. I really, really like that show. I do recommend it. I mean, you can blast through real fast because, like I said, the only thing about that show, and I've said this before already, is I don't like the episodes that revolve around like this kind of like salary man who keeps getting into awkward situations with one of the girls. Like, It's a recurring gag that I don't think is fun, and I understand why some people would think it's funny. I just don't. So those episodes aren't great, but also they're so short that you're just like, whatever. Next one. Whatever. Next one. Like I said, I'm gonna get caught. Like so, for instance, for Monday, I will watch Fruits Basket, and be able. Not, it's Fruits Basket, and sometimes I say Fruit Baskets, which is wrong. Fruits Basket, I will attempt to get caught up on for Monday's stream, and then also watch some more One Piece because it's things are popping off. It was kind of light and just kind of like a Luffy fest, a Luffy love fest. Bunch of minor characters or supporting characters or former main characters just having a little chat about how much they love Luffy. And then things got fucking real. And then they got maybe resolved. I don't know. It's the Reverie arc. There's some stuff happening. I'm interested in what's going on there. Yeah, my overall. So I for a while there, as I've said, it looked like Senryu Girl was going to be my favorite show of the season. Turns out it's One Punch Man season 2, despite the fact that the first 2 episodes are not that great, and the first episode in particular has just piss poor animation. Turns out it's gotten better with every fucking episode and is turning into a really solid season. It's really fucking strong, and I really recommend it. I don't know if it's subscribed to Hulu just for that. Good. I am doing that, but I'm also talk about anime on stream. Also, I haven't said this in a while. I have some new followers, some new watchers, even some new subscribers. I should say, because it's been a little while. When I talk about anime, if it is something that I'm watching on Crunchyroll, which is every show I'm right now except for One Punch Man Season 2, everything else I watch, because Wise Man's grandson is on both, but I still watch it on Crunchyroll. When I watch things on Crunchyroll, it is because I have a gifted subscription to that service. So that is why I'm watching on that. I was gifted a premium membership. Actually, you can get a month of that through Twitch Prime. If you have Twitch Prime, you can do that. That is not a paid ad. That is me just telling you that is something you can do. But yeah, because I talk about anime on stream all the time, a friend who works in the larger Crunchyroll Verve family hooked me up with an account because he knows I talk about it, which is very nice of him. And I do fucking talk about anime a lot, so works out all right. There's some old stuff that's been getting added that looks pretty cool. I've talked about that a little bit here and there. All right, we did our right arm, which we can pop in. We're making some definite progress on Piccolo. Let's get to the left arm, which is going to be basically everything I did on the other one. Pretty much exactly the same. Slight differences here and there. Yeah, if you're watching anything, let me know what you're watching out there. I keep trying. Oh yeah, I finally remember to start finishing Initial D. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Initial D. Yeah, let me know what you're watching out there, as Sin just did. I know that Hitori Bochi, I keep trying, because I know that people really like it, and I know that it gets better. The stuff I don't like about the show, I know improves. Hitori Bochi is about a girl who only has one friend, and they go to different schools, like middle school. And so the main character's only friend is like, hey, I'll never talk to you again unless you make friends with every kid in your class. And I guess the idea is that like that's impossible, but she'll at least make some friends by having to do this. So this girl who's like terrible at being making friends and is very shy and is like a weird awkward person is trying to make friends, and she's weird, and it's like eventually she'll have enough friends in the show that it's just adding new friends and like the situations they get in. Like I know there's a thing about like she just like taking a moment to be like I'm in the pool with my friends, and how she's like not taking anything for granted. So I know that it like gets to a point where it's more fun and interesting. But right now, the beginning is just so awkward and tough to watch. So I'm going to try to watch more of it because I know that people like it. I think Bored has talked about enjoying the show, if I remember correctly. Somebody was talking it up and telling me that I would really enjoy it. But yeah, Initial D rules. That's something I could just watch on Hulu if I wanted to, right? I'm pretty sure it's on Hulu. Um, just check out a bunch of Initial D. Uh, there's a bunch of shows that I like. I was watching some sports anime stuff, and I was enjoying the sports anime. I think I might be over the kick of that. Um, because I never watched Ace of Tennis, or not Ace of Tennis. There's a baseball thing. The Prince of Tennis is the thing, but there's some Ace of Diamonds is some baseball show where there's a new season, and that was one that I did not get into. But yeah, I was watching some sports stuff because I think I tweeted about that how like oh it turns out I really want to see like friendships get made. The first season on YouTube, but I ended up buying it on US release. Hell yes, Sin. Yeah, except the new movies. Yeah, yeah. I think it also could be one of those shows that like has either people just don't care about it or whatever company is licensing it, like Viz is licensing it or something, and like put it all up on YouTube so they can make YouTube ad revenue because it was so easy to pirate or something. They'd rather like sell you on some other shows and have you be in their ecosystem, that kind of thing. Or like a show I watched, I had to watch a show on. Hey, I had to watch fan subs of a show. I always attempt to watch things through streaming services legally, but I one outs, no one ever licensed. It's a sports anime. I can totally understand why they never did, because the main character is like very good at what he does, but also like a real shitbag. So I can understand why it never like uh, got licensed. But yeah, I had to watch fan subs of that. I'm like, I don't like that. It is a show with a weird following that also failed commercially, or the publisher went under. They never released season 5 and 6. Yeah, yeah, I know. There's like a lot more to that story than hit. Um, Initial D is so weird because it is like it's one of those series where um, just did the movies. Yeah. The weird thing about that show is that like the amount of people who would not consider themselves anime fans that love that show because it's so earnest about its love of cars that like gearheads that I knew in high school like really loved it. In the same way that there are some boxing fans and fight fans that really like certain like anime. They don't like all anime, but they like certain fighting anime that like really appeal to them. And in some ways, it is a like introduction to a world that might not have ever thought they'd be interested in like a gateway. Initial D can be a gateway to people, but uh, but in many instances that like it seems like Initial D is a show that like people are like, yeah, I like Initial D. I don't like anime. I like Initial D though. And it didn't translate to them like other things. Whereas there are other shows like including sports anime that are a gateway to people like checking out things, or like My Hero Academia does well with audiences that like superhero stuff, but might not necessarily watch a lot of anime, but like can see the tropes in that show because it is so inspired by Western uh, um, superhero material, and then maybe be like, oh well, if you like this, you might like something else. Parts of Initial D, your straight up giant robot stuff with cars. Yes, I mean it's the strategy stuff in Gundam. There's a lot of like solo thought. There's a lot of like deep spiritual thought about car shit in Initial D, and then also a sick Euro dance like beat also happens. Um, it is several things happening at once, uh, and very good. Always enjoyed Initial D. Wouldn't mind watching some of that again with real fan subs. Yes, the best love of all is Mako falling in love with one half of a racing team, and you're just some dude. Um, but yeah, I watched that with very bad. Some of the later seasons series I watched with pretty poor fan subs. So I've always thought about going back. The other guy that drives the 86, I think I had remember those episodes being very poor as far as fan sub goes. And I thought about trying it again. All right, so we are putting. We already did this on one arm. We're just doing it again on the other arm. Slotting in some stuff here. Asmo just subscribed. That's 13 months. A happy Saturday, Pat. Asmo, happy Saturday to you. That's a year and 1 month. Thank you so much for that. For being a subscriber for so long. Let's throw the Bear Cave emote in there. The Lego emote. I'm going to put the scythe in there. Thank Asmo for being a subscriber for that long. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I always appreciate that. And thanks for being here. We've been doing some Piccolo, as you can see. We're going to keep building, keep talking. Yeah, I think about some of that anime stuff. Some of those shows that I watched with very poor. I eventually, because I had watched very bad fan subs of what show? Oh, of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I eventually ended up seeing the other like better subtitles of it, like official subs of it, and I was very happy to eventually be able to see that because what I had watched had not been good. I think I've said this before. The thing I watched had like, uh, it had dark every showed up because people would say Yami and they were translating, or it would say like game instead of Yugi, because it was literally translating the names of characters into English. It's like no, no, don't do that. That's not good. That is how I first watched Full Metal Panic. Yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of shows. I watched G Gundam. I watched some of G Gundam on Toonami, but then I watched the DVD, or Adult Swim, or I think it was Toonami, and then I watched the DVD with all of them, and like it was like a 3-pack DVD that had all 49 episodes or whatever. The HK subs thing, yes, when they were first making, there's a Hong Kong subs where they were doing like translations. Like in some cases they were doing literal translations. They were using like Babelfish, or they were just doing, but they also had DVD technology, which no one else had at the time. No other fan subber was doing DVDs, so you did it because you wanted to watch them, and you could buy a DVD with a bunch of episodes on it, which ruled. We'll have the fingers here ready to go. Let's get into some legs. Let's build some legs. C1. Yeah. The DVDs I bought were the 3 series I remember were Initial D, um, uh, Yu-Gi-Oh, and the third one. What was the third one? Oh, I watched a lot of Yu Yu Hakusho in that format, and then eventually got the DVDs, like the official DVDs, and watched all of it again, and then eventually, right before Funimation and Crunchyroll's deal split, or their partnership split, I watched a hell of a lot of that show again, just because I wanted to watch more of it. I love the early 2000s when college students who took one Japanese course were translating. I mean, that was saying in a lot of ways the 2000s were a gold mine because people started fan subbing, like downloading through BitTorrent. So the number of people who were good, because it was way easier to run a distro um, if you just had a torrent, because you could do it in college and you could have it there. The quality actually really did go up. The quantity went up, I should say, not quality, quantity. And then you had like a lot of times a subgroup would pick a show, and maybe there'd be two or three subgroups that would pick a show. Um, but now, once it got to the point where people were just getting raws and uploading raw torrents and downloading raw torrents, you ended up with a lot of people who were like, there'd be like five groups doing Naruto. You'd be like, why? Why is everyone fucking? And there'd be like a race to see who get out first. And then you started seeing a dip in quality because it became an arms race, which was, I mean, it's never a good time. Um, and then the legit ones would drop off. Yes, when they got years late. Yes. Um, the best ones would abide by the fake rule, the decision among themselves rule that, like, because believe me, there's no gray area. Fan subs are illegal. There's no gray area there. It's that people just decided, well, when it gets a North American release, we won't uh, um, do anything about it. We'll just let it go. And we'll move on to another show, and then hopefully people won't come after us for doing these fan subs. But it was all internal and kind of like a community thing. But it was never like cool to do. All right, so then one more. Like I always think it's so odd that there are still people doing like Boruto. There's still a Boruto fan sub community. There's still I remember there was a show that I was looking up information on a show that was Anime Strike when that was still a thing, when Amazon had their own servers within. And I remember like Googling a show because I was like trying to figure out when it was being uploaded, because Amazon didn't do a great job of like releasing. They still don't do a good job of releasing that information. And so I remember like looking at a group, and instead I was getting information about like the fan sub group that was doing it. And it's just like, if a show has like a distributor, there are very few shows these days that like don't have, that like come out in Japan and don't have a US release. Um, and some don't. There are still some shows that don't, but like, come on, fucking grow up. God, yeah, I don't understand that. Like, there's people like, oh, this show has a group that's like getting the raws and translating. And so, like, to be fair, uh, I just watched a show this week where somebody translated a line and used the fucking expression fiddlesticks. That's not a good fan. That's not a good translation. That's a bad job. If you think that a character in this anime said fiddlesticks, you are doing a not great job. And I hope that that is replaced with other text in the DVD. Because that's just not, there's a better phrase that someone said than that. So I'm not trying to give, folks like saying like, oh, it's perfect. But it's also like, there are shows that come out that don't have, particularly I would say that for the most parts, fiddlesticks. Now everyone's saying fiddlesticks. Great. For the most part, like Chinese animation does not necessarily have a U.S. release, but Tencent is doing some interesting things where sometimes they're putting some of their shows on YouTube so people can watch them legally, which I think is very interesting. because they don't have distribution deals right now. Um, but then there are some shows that just don't have anything, and fan subbing is the only way to watch them. And like I said, I watched a lot of fucking fan subs as a kid. I have watched. I'll admit, I have watched some movies with fan subs because they did not get picked up for distribution, or OVAs. There have been OVAs that I loved the show New Game. I'm hugely in favor of New Game and its second season. New Game 2, New Game has one exclamation point. New Game, the second season has two exclamation points. It should have been called New Game Plus. It wasn't. Whatever. That I've said my piece about that. But the OVA, or the extra video stuff that was on the DVD, was not licensed. There's no legal way to watch that. So I have watched it fan subbed. One of my favorite animes of all time managed to translate Tulip into Chulip because the translator only got 2 episodes at a time, and that was an ADV show. And as such, it doesn't exist in high def. Yeah. They never released the OVA. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes the OVAs are inside jokes, or they're just but then a bunch of people had fan subbed the OVA, the extra episode for what do you call it? What episode? What am I thinking of? What show was it? Oh, Dragon Maid, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. That originally was not. It came out in Japan and then wasn't on Crunchyroll. It is on Crunchyroll. You can watch it on Crunchyroll. It just wasn't originally, so some people went and just watched it any way they could, because that was the way you could watch it. Is this the wrong piece? This looks like the wrong piece. It's the wrong one. Yeah, it's the wrong one. All right. D112. Oops. Oh no. Let's go super specific about dumb anime tropes. Yeah, that's tough. That can be tough. Like when you have a lot of. Okay, so that's 11 and 12. That's what it is. This one is the wrong one. That can be tough. Like sometimes, yeah, it said there's no good way for me to watch that episode of New Game. Is it required that I watch that episode? Of course not. It's an OVA. Or there's no good way to watch the weird OVAs that came out for one of my favorite shows the past couple of years. My favorite show of last year, Yuri Camp, Laid Back Camp. You can't watch Laid Back Camp, the stuff that came on the bonus DVDs, on the website. And that's rough and annoying. I really, really dislike that, because I think it's a bummer that is just a thing that you can't watch, because for whatever reason. And that reason, it's just that a lot of the episodes aren't full length. One episode is full length. The other ones are all really weird mini episodes. So I understand why it's on there, but it's fun. So I gotta go and watch those on the internet. Wait, where's this gonna go? Yeah, there's a few things that don't make the release. I think there's a fan service episode of G Gundam that wasn't in the original, that didn't end up airing on Toonami. There's that does happen quite a bit in the old days. These days it doesn't happen as much about them not bringing episodes over, especially with the streaming services. It's less likely that they will just not do an episode. Put on the skin there for Piccolo. Yeah, and that always made sense to me. Often it makes sense when a thing is just not included in a show. You're like, yeah, it makes sense. It's a bummer though. It's always a bummer when something just doesn't get included. Uh, yes, indeed, Sin. It was a different time when they showed that episode of what do you call it? Of Outlaw Star, the fan service of the Outlaw Star. Jesus, that show had a lot of fan service. All right. Okay, so that goes in like that. So now we're doing Piccolo's shoes. Nice and easy shoes. These shoes are very easy to put together. And 15. I always think it's weird that the way these kits are working when they're like, build the body, then build the arms, then build the legs, and then lastly build the waist. It's always odd. You may have noticed there's not much there's not much here as far as stickers go. We have the mouth, and then we have these two things that are just the strip there of the leg, which is just a sticker, which I think is like pretty clever way to do that. But yeah, not many stickers with Piccolo, which I'm in favor of. I don't need a lot of stickers. But we just do what we did here again. Let's see. Okay, so we need this. Which is basically, a lot of... yeah, there's nothing much to say about this part of the kit, but we're getting some work there done. I think I'm going to go get some pizza once the stream is done, because I am in the mood for pizza. It'll be probably too late for the pepperoni wheel or pepperoni rolls that my local pizza place often has, but I still think I can get, certainly will still be able to, at 11 p.m. on a Saturday, get some pizza. And then eat some pizza. Real good. Yeah, basically have my appetite back, which I'm very happy about. Alright, so this goes like this. And then this goes like that. Yeah. Alright. And then C225 is this here. Yeah, if there's anything you want to chat about tonight, when it gets to Saturday, as usual, I am starting to run out of things to talk about, because often not a lot happens between my Friday and my Saturday. But yeah, if there's anything you want to chat about, I think I mentioned this on Wednesday. Yes, I'm going to do a bonus stream on Wednesday. I did say that. I dropped a piece here, so I'm trying to figure out where it went. So that's why I'm looking around. I found it. There we go. Yeah, on Wednesday I'm going to do a bonus stream at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to do Twitch Sings. I'm going to do an evening Twitch Sing stream. There's a bunch of songs that have come out since I last did a stream for that, so I want to sing some songs. So that will be Wednesday. Normal stream on Monday. Normal stream on Thursday. I gotta redo that calendar thing when I post that on Monday. I totally had my dates wrong. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else going on with me at the moment. But yeah, if there's anything you want to chat about, let me know. Always interested in hearing from y'all about what's going on with you. Otherwise, we can just kind of hang out and talk about nothing. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to chat about. I could go on here. Goes like that. Oh yeah, Happy Pride Month, y'all. Yes, Bald Ridge, Happy Pride Month to you as well. Happy Pride Month to everybody there. Be gay, do crime. Yes, indeed. Too many good games. It looks like civilians are going to have more fun than press at E3. Yep. There are plenty of good games out there. Excited for everybody and the ability to have fun and play some games. Indeed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to E3 and seeing what's going on there. As I said, I am going to be doing a stream during the Square conference because I don't really. I'd rather just keep my normal time than deal with that. So I'm not gonna I'm not gonna change my schedule around for them, but I do understand if some folks are, you know, aren't going to be able to watch because they'd rather tune into that. But I understand that. But yeah. I started watching Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Oh, Ultron. Very good show. I think it definitely holds up. It's been a little while since I watched it, but I love that show. So glad you're checking it out. I'm waiting to see Johnny V not talk. I cannot believe the Big N would allow shenanigans. Oh, I don't think Johnny's gonna look. First of all, Johnny just got there. I don't know if he's going to E3 for work, and even if he is, like Johnny V's not going to be on Giant Bomb. There's no fucking way. I don't want to say like I'll eat my hat or anything like that, but there's no way that Johnny is gonna be on the like anywhere near Giant Bomb or any live stream. No, forget it. We all love Johnny. No, I mean Johnny is like the fact that Johnny never got called out for it is, or if he has, he was able to still like do appearances, is unbelievable. The fact that Johnny survived Disney for as long as he did is incredible. And I love that man, but come on. I would never tell Johnny anything. Work related, I should say. There's like a not huge secret in the game community that I'm aware of. Good news, very good news with someone. And the only reason I know that Johnny doesn't know about it is because everyone doesn't know about it, because he can't keep personal secrets like that. He's just not. That's not his style. Yeah, a mutual friend has some very good news, and it's like Johnny was wearing a Yoshi like uh, button up shirt, and he's like, "Oh, it's a secret where I'm going." It's like, no, it isn't. It's not a secret at all, Johnny. You're very bad at this. You're very, very bad at this. It's like, oh, you're going to Nintendo. Oh, you're going up north. You're going up north. Yeah, it'll be announced at some point, Baldridge. You'll hear about it. It's nothing like serious or whatever. It's just a thing where I know Johnny doesn't know about it because he hasn't blurted it out somewhere randomly. He probably would do it at the E3 presser. Um, but yeah, I love Johnny. I don't expect to see Johnny ever on a couch. Yes, he said childhood dream, and he already worked at Disney. Indeed, there are only so many childhood dreams in the games industry, um, so it makes sense. And him being a Nintendo is a great choice. He knows how to work within a huge corporate system. He's passionate. Uh, sounds like he's going to be in a good spot to help some people out and do some good. I'm very excited for him. I think it's a great choice. But it is also very, very funny. Because people were like, I was. Yeah. I mean, it is bummer that that Thursday will not involve him. I mean, it will still be Lang and Jeff and boys hanging out, and maybe they'll bring rope John Drake in. It'll still be a good couch. That last segment will still be solid on Thursday, but it won't be the same without Johnny. Like, it makes sense. It can't be the same. Yeah. Who knows? But I think you're gonna see Johnny like on the IGN stage or the G4 stage or not G4. You know what I mean though, or like you know, he'll do some appearances and do some media. We'll see him in some bigger things, but I don't think we're gonna see Johnny hanging out where there's beer. Was Drake going? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, because I know that Sony isn't sending out their full force, so I actually can't tell you for sure if John is going. But also the department, because I think Geo is going, so I think that that department it makes sense that for them to go because there's still the like indie dev, the indie mega booth at E3, and there's still some like third party stuff. There are like developers that go. So I can't tell you for sure um, if he's going. I don't know, but he makes more sense than some other Sony people. Lang Boys and Jeff can lovely roast Johnny. Yes. Oh yeah, Andrea's definitely going. Andrea's hosting something. She's hosting I think the EA stuff. So or co-hosting that. So I know she's going. Um, yeah, so she's definitely going, but I don't know if Drake is making the appearance or not. We'll see via tweets. We'll probably hear via the tweetosphere. All right, we're getting close to finishing this kit up, which is good. Got some more work to do here, and of course we got one other head to build because we have to build a head that involves the hat. Gotta have that hat, the turban. All right, so this goes in. Did I miss a step somewhere? I may have missed a step with the chest here. I gotta go back. Ooh, I think I built part of this wrong. So I'm gonna go back. I was saying about how we were all, getting close to being done with this kit already, but I definitely looked up something. Goofed up somewhere. So we'll go back here and take a look, see what I goofed up on. This all looks good. But yeah, that is not right. Okay. So I'm gonna get out my sponger here, and I'm just gonna separate. I'm gonna take the arms off because it'll be easier to work here. But yeah, there's a piece here that should be popping out. That isn't. That I didn't notice was wrong. So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what wrestlers we're going to see. I assume we'll see Woods. We might see, if he's there, we might see Jack Gallagher, as he has now made an appearance with on a Giant Bomb podcast. He's made 2 appearances, but perhaps, yeah. I think Woods is definitely going to be at E3 because it makes sense for him to go unless he's overseas. He'll probably pop in. I don't know, yeah, if he'll have wrestlers with him or not. It was fun to see Samoa Joe. That was a fun bit of business. Okay, so this is in like that. So I just built this wrong, I guess. I definitely just put this together wrong. Alright. Occasionally these come together very simply, and occasionally I goof it up. Luckily, shouldn't be too hard to fix. What did I do wrong here? Ah, it's gotta go like that. I get it now. Booyah! It goes like that. It goes like that. Okay. All right, and that goes like that. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Austin Creed, Xavier Woods, always a great guest, very knowledgeable, always talks about what he's excited about. Always has a good thing to say when it comes to those appearances. Does a great job. All right, we go there, we go there. Okay, so we fixed that. We can put that there. Problem solved. Yeah, that was just me. I set up a piece wrong. And then so this doesn't come with a stand, but if or for the kit, but we'll put together what you would use if you were going to put on a stand. It comes with the holder. These things are very simple. It's just Uke story. Oh yeah. Sarah needs to be in character with his mouth guard. Yes. The Uke story was interesting on the Beastcast. Yeah, that was an interesting thing to hear that they're like internally they want to try something different and can't because of WWE. That's an interesting thing. I can imagine that and understand that. I don't. Harold just cheered 169 bits. Thank you very much, Harold. Appreciate that. Welcome to the old leaderboard. Our animation engine is too much. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. So, yeah, so if I had a stand, it would go in like that. Then you could hold them like that on the stand, but we don't have that, so we don't worry about that part. Yeah, that's always, I personally don't want to talk about, like, hey, unpopular opinion, as we wrap up the stream, because we're going to wrap up in a minute or two. Unpopular opinion. I don't. Death Stranding trailers do nothing for me. I have no interest in that. I do not care at all. I have no interest in the Kojima games I've liked the most, the Metal Gear games I like the most, are the ones he didn't work on. I think Revenge 5 is the only Metal Gear I really like, and Revengeance is my favorite Metal Gear. I just don't give a shit about Kojima. I just can't. I just can't be into or care about like looking at that game, like looking at that like that trailer. I've watched all of Death Stranding stuff, and I'm just like, nah. Zone of the Enders I like. I don't love Zone of the Enders. I like it. It doesn't, it's not really doing a lot for me. I like it just fine. I'm just like, yeah, I've never been a Kojima guy, and don't kind of. I'm sure there'll be a lot of great memes. There've already been great memes. I'm sure there'll continue to be great memes about that thing, and maybe there'll be some good YouTube videos for you to watch. But like, I have no thought that that's a game that I would ever want to try to play. Prove me wrong, I guess, but yeah, could not care less. Yes. No, I'm not getting that plastic baby Lashbrook. I don't want that thing anywhere near me. Get that thing out of here. Get out of here, baby. No, thank you. Do not want. All right. Speaking of want, I want to go get some pizza, so I'm going to wrap up this stream. No, I don't want a haunted doll. No, thank you. Piccolo, almost done. Next stream, we're going to finish Piccolo. We're going to build a Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That's a lot of hair. We still have to, and also for next stream, I'm going to grab Gohan, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and build that new hair and hair for him. At least put that in there as an option. But yeah, have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern for the next Build with Baer Workshop. I thank you very much for joining me. I hope you had a great time, and I'll see you on the next stream. Bye-bye.